taking a look. This will be new for me too because I haven't been on the computer at all. So this will all be new to me as well as it is you. So let's take a look at the newest stuff right now. Though looking at Doppler radar, I haven't got a lot going on out there. Just some shower thunderstorm activity trying to pop up just around the Huntsville area. Overall, not seeing a lot at the moment. Now let's get on into it. Take a look at the computer models here because we got some new stuff that just come out. So let's go ahead and look at that here in just a moment. And let me get that information up here. Okay, bear with me here. Okay, that's what we should be looking at here. So let's go ahead and get this up. And as I expected, they have extended that enhanced risk further to the east-southeast as I thought they would. I thought they would bring it a little bit further east than what they had it. So let's take a look at that. So this is for today's outlook. Marginal risk of severe thunderstorms all of northern Alabama with a better threat to the north of us up there in Tennessee. Take a look at the tornado threat for today. Of course, looks like that stays just to the north of us up in Tennessee. The hail threat, about a 2% risk. We do have a threat of some hail here. Damaging wind threat, also about 2%. So rather low threat for today. Now we'll move on to Wednesday. And as I expected, the enhanced risk, they have brought it closer to northwest Alabama. I was looking at some of the models yesterday, talking about that, how I expected them to do that. So they have brought it a little bit further in. Possibility that it eventually does go into northwest Alabama as we get on into tomorrow. We'll keep an eye on that, and we'll also take a look at the time frame. But there's our tornado threat, a hatched risk, 10% risk up to the north of us. At least I believe that's correct. Yeah, 10% risk of some tornadoes up there to the north. Only a 2% risk here, but we've seen 2% risk do a lot. So don't let that fool you. Again, keeping an eye on northwest Alabama with this, but to the north of us looks to have the higher threat of tornadoes tomorrow. Now, looking at the hail threat, very decent hail threat across the area in North Alabama. All of northern Alabama has a threat of large hail. About a 15% risk of that, or I believe that's 15, or these things get confusing. Yeah, 15% risk of that. So, do have a threat of large hail tomorrow. Damaging wind is going to be the primary concern. So we do have a threat of some damaging winds as well. And looks like that comes in pretty late tomorrow. We'll take a look at the high resolution rapid refresh, take a look at the timing, when we can expect that to come through. Let me update it a bit. Okay, for some reason it's stuck on 2M AGL temperature for some odd reason. Don't know what it's doing that for. Okay, see if we can reload this thing. There we go. It was having a little bit of a problem there, but we got it fixed. Okay, so let's see when this stuff's supposed to come in today. And of course, it looks like it's froze again. So it looks like the site's having a little bit of a problem there. Load it back up again. For some reason, we're still froze. So their site may be having some problems, it looks like. And it does appear that way. Let's see what we got going on here. There we go. I think it finally loaded up. Let's try this again. There we go. So it looks like we get some scattered stuff to the west, pushes off into our, toward our direction here with this little system coming in. Looks like it gets here around 9 to 10 p.m. according to this model here. It didn't really look that intense either. But it looks like we get some of that in here around 8, 9, 10 o'clock tonight. Some pop-up stuff possible before then. We'll take a look at another model here that might give us a little better idea of things. So yeah, we have some scattered pop-ups. Looks like starting to pop up, anywhere Looks like they start, this morning. Of course, we had some pop-ups, and then throughout the afternoon, evening hours, we start to get more pop-up thunderstorms, and some pretty decent stuff coming in. Again, it shows around 8, 9 o'clock, 10 p.m., somewhere right in there. We'll look at that timing, and then, yeah, the little cluster of thunderstorms that moves on through, it looks like it gets out of here around 2 to 3 a.m. It shows all that's out of here, and then looks like another little line up to the north tries to make its way here, but looks like it doesn't make it. So let's take a look at the timing. I know this is our next storm system coming in for Wednesday, and that's a rather nasty looking little system, I will say, especially out to the west. Seeing some okay, yeah, we just got a notification from Avon, but yeah, we'll address that here in just a few minutes as well. I wanted to mention that, but anyway, there's our system coming in for Wednesday. Very nasty looking little system. Looks like it moves into our area, and that it is going to produce some gusty to damaging winds. Already seeing that. This is the outlook. This is a high resolution rapid refresh model, future forecast, and that right there is already showing me, there's some damaging winds with that for sure as that pushes on through. Let's see when that actually gets here. Looks like that is around 2 to 3 a.m. Thursday morning. It looks like when that's starting to move through. It looks like it officially moves through. The first round of it moves through around, it looks like, 3 to 4 a.m., somewhere right there. And then we get the final batch on the backside. Some really gusty, damaging winds possible with that too. And it officially moves out of here. It looks like by 12 noon, all this should be completely out of here by Wednesday. Now, let's take a quick look at the forecast, what we expect as far as timing goes from the National Weather Service in Huntsville. Let's take a look at that. And I'm sure their timing is going to line up with mine. Okay, so main stuff, let's make sure you guys can see it as well as I can. So, yeah, you are able to see it there. Strong to severe thunderstorms today, of course. They're possible Tuesday afternoon into the early evening. Still some uncertainty on the coverage of storms this afternoon, so we're going to keep an eye on it. Of course, we're already into the afternoon hours, so we're going to keep an eye on it. Looks like for northwest Alabama around 1 to 4 p.m., around Huntsville, Coleman, Fayetteville, 4 p.m. to 7, and then northeast Alabama, 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. And I know some of the models showed it somewhere right in there between 8 and 9, maybe 10 o'clock. So this could adjust as we get on into the time today. But for today, looks like about a 40% chance of showers or storms for northeast Alabama. Looks like we'll get up to around 83 degrees today. Warm day, breezy out too. Tonight, a little bit better chance of that, around a 50% chance of rain and thunderstorms. Looks like 63 degrees for a low. Tomorrow, we start to get some showers and thunderstorms. Looks like about 20% chance for tomorrow, 20 to 30, and then overnight it kind of picks up a good bit. So, this is an older model. I noticed they haven't updated this yet, but this has actually changed. But they're saying 5 a.m. to 8 a.m. For northeast Alabama now. So it looks like they have updated things just a little bit. So northwest Alabama looks like the severe threat gets there around 12 a.m. to 3 a.m. Huntsville area 2 a.m. to 6 a.m. And then northeast Alabama 5 a.m. to 8 a.m. as we was just looking at with the models there. Only thing that's changed is this severe storm threat here that you see. They have brought that enhanced risk further toward northwest Alabama, which I expected them to do. So let's get back to that, and I want to look at some of the perimeters. That's going to give me an idea, if they're going to actually move it further. So let's take a look at that. I almost forgot. Okay. That's a GFS. Let's get back to that high resolution. Okay, so some parameters I want to look at here. Is a significant tornado parameter. Let's take a look at that, which I know it's predicting it to be north of us. Okay, so that does, we do get some weak stuff in the northwest Alabama. Of course, we're not even into Wednesday yet, so let's move it forward. Okay. So we do get some, in northwest Alabama. Some of these cells ahead of it could produce some, tornadoes. There is a possibility in northwest Alabama. I'm not seeing that risk come this far east. There is still some energy in place, though. There could be one or two tornadoes even in northeast Alabama, but the threat is really low. I mean, I'm not seeing, there is some energy there, but so don't get me wrong, there is some energy there, so we can't rule it out completely, but the highest threat looks like it'll be over northwest Alabama. So I wouldn't doubt if they don't bring it just a bit further in to include northwest Alabama, just because of what I'm seeing with the significant tornado perimeter models there. We'll take a look at a few more, though. So we'll take a look at some of the wind shear readings here. Make sure you guys are able to see what I'm seeing. Okay. So we do get just a bit of a sheared environment coming in on Wednesday, as expected. Okay, so yeah, we do get a rather sheared environment coming in with that MCS line there. It's going to be dropping to the southeast, so we do get some decent wind shear in here with that line. You can definitely see where that line's at too, and then it pushes on through. So definitely the threat of damaging winds, and also can't rule out a tornado or two, even in northeast Alabama. Threat's very low, but I do expect a upgrade possibly, as I have been talking about, for northwest Alabama. Let's take a look at the intensity here. We expect storm-wise. So most definitely will be some intense thunderstorms out there. That is for certain. So definitely a good little line of thunderstorms coming through here, and there's a really good chance of some intense ones too by looking at the models here. Let's take a look at the Cape. That's going to kind of help out a little bit too. Look at the surface based here. This is not exactly the model I want to look at, so let me find the other one. I'll get it right in a minute. Okay, here we go. This is the one I actually wanted to look at. 1600, then we get on up in those 2000s, and then that's a little bit. That's a bit more concerning. We see the Cape levels up in the 2000s and all that good stuff, unfortunately. But it looks like the really intense stuff, of course, starts to come in. So there's definitely going to be some energy in place, especially over northwest Alabama, up in Mississippi. My goodness, 4,000 values over there. That's just insane readings there. And in northeast Alabama, some 2,000s, almost 3,000 Cape value there, which is also very concerning. Wow, and it just blows up on the Cape up to 3,000. So, yeah, this is looking like an event where we're definitely going to keep an eye on it. And there is definitely the potential there for some strong to severe thunderstorms, damaging winds, large hail, even a tornado or two possible until this stuff gets out of here. Looks like the most intense Cape value showed up around, let me take a look at this, Thursday. Of course, that model outlook's not, but Zulu time is just, it's weird how these models do. So that says 7 p.m. to 6 p.m. I have to run a different model look on that. Now, that's some intense readings right there, especially for DeKalb County. 3,000 joules. That's pretty high. Let's take a look at the chat here. We'll also do that. Just running through some of the different models here. And we'll also take a look at the what's changed with the SPC outlook as well, because they have changed it just a bit. And they have brought that enhanced risk further toward Northwest Alabama, and I really expect it to eventually include Northwest Alabama. May even get surprised that it come a little bit further south than that. That's going to depend on a lot. I'm kind of stuck thinking Northwest Alabama, though. I don't think it'll come this far south, but it could. Anything's possible these days, so we'll watch that. But anyway, let's get back to the chat. Also, we'll take a look at the radar here again before we get ready to wrap things up. I'm not seeing a lot. I am hoping to do some storm chasing, though. I am hoping to go out in the field and, if it's not dark, and do some storm chasing anyway today, maybe, if they move in before dark. So let's take a look at the chat here. Get ready to wrap it up for YouTube side of everything. We do appreciate everybody for watching. We hope you will, like and subscribe. Again, the timeline looked like for Northeast Alabama. We'll run that up one more time before we officially get ready to wrap things up here for tonight. So let's back it up here. For those that may be just joining us, we'll put that timeline up here. Okay, so it looks like I'm going to adjust that timeline just a bit. I didn't realize how offset it was, so bear with me, and I'm going to redo that timeline there if it'll cooperate with me. So yeah, you're going to see it move around just a bit until I get it readjusted here. Okay, that's a good bit better. So there's our timeline again. Strong to severe thunderstorms possible Tuesday over later on this evening and tonight. Damaging winds possible. Large hail, heavy rainfall. Tornado threat very, very low for today. 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. for Northeast Alabama. Huntsville 4 p.m. to 7, and then Northwest Alabama 1 p.m. to 4. We'll move on to the severe weather threat overnight Wednesday. Keep in mind they have moved the enhanced risk to the corner of Northwest Alabama now, so it has shifted further south than what this one shows. I'm sure they'll update it shortly, but right now that's what we've got. Timeline 12 a.m. to 3 a.m. Northwest Alabama, 2 a.m. to 6 a.m. for around Huntsville, and then 5 a.m. to 8 a.m. Thursday morning for Northeast Alabama. So it does look like it's going to come in late, possibly into Thursday morning. So that being said, hope that helps everybody out a bit. I do appreciate everybody for following. Also, like and subscribe to our channel on YouTube. We'd appreciate it, all the support we can get. God bless, take care, and have a great rest of your day, everybody.